All right, to continue on with our look at graphics, let's talk about integrating graphics. Again, we're getting more specific with the information that we're going to be presenting here. Let's talk about some professional and academic uses of the graphics that we're going to discuss. First, we're going to talk about inserting pictures and images that are related to text. And this is very important, especially if you're going to find yourself doing a presentation for a class or for a job interview, what have you. You want to use things like Venn diagrams and flowcharts. And we're also going to discuss SmartArt graphics, very, very powerful tools that you can use to integrate images into your presentation and relate it to whatever it is that you've written on paper as well. Let's start off with the Venn diagram. By definition, a Venn diagram is simply a graphic in which circles are used to show relationships among sets of objects that have certain attributes. For example, here is one format of a Venn diagram where you're using circles inside of one another to show relationships, to see how things are related and look at how things are outside of it. Here's another Venn diagram where you've got three different categories or three different living things, and you're comparing them and finding out what they have in common and what they have that are different. All right, so dogs and humans, they're mammals. Let's see, dogs and lizards, well, they have 4 legs. One thing that all three of them have together is they're animals, and they may eat bugs. Yeah, humans eat bugs sometimes. Here's another example of how a Venn diagram can be used, this time using numbers. All right, so if you have a survey that was done of 11,000 students at USC and UCLA, well, 5,000 students from USC, well, comparing them to the 6,000 students at UCLA, what they have in common is 500 of them went to Long Beach City College. All right, so the two overlapping circles gives you what they have in common. That's one very, very powerful thing with the Venn diagram. Here's another one. And what I'd like you to do is just take a moment and watch how I interact with this Venn diagram as I bring out each element part by part. Okay, we all have things that we do well, right? And then we have things that we want to do. And then we have things that we can be paid to do. Well, sometimes these things overlap. What we do well and what we can be paid to do, we learn to monetize that. So we do it better so we can make money at it. Well, what we do well and what we want to do, sometimes we have to learn to say no, because you have people that will look at you and say, oh, well, Jack wants to do this. Well, he likes to do this. Let's keep asking him to do it. You have to learn how to say no. Well, things that we want to do and things that we can be paid to do, we actually learn to do this even better. And when all three of these things intersect, well, what you have is one very happy person. Okay, so you see how all three of these things come together, and it shows you what they have in common. This is the power of a Venn diagram, particularly if you are doing it in a multimedia presentation. Okay, very briefly, I'm going to show you how you can create a Venn diagram. It's not going to take very long at all. I'm going to go ahead and launch Microsoft Word. So I start out with a blank document. Okay, so what I want to do is go over to Insert and go to Shapes and select an oval tool and just come out in the middle here and then just draw that circle. All right, I'm not going to draw another one, but what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to highlight this one, and then I am going to go to the format. Excuse me, actually, yeah, the format. There it is. And what I want to do is set it transparent, about 50%. All right. Now what I want to do is highlight it, go edit, copy, and come out, edit, paste. Now I have two circles, and they share the same attributes, exact same size, length, color, everything. With this one though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the color. So now we have overlapping color. Okay. Now what I want to do is go get a text box, and I'm going to put in here UCLA 5000. All right. I'm going to take that. I'm going to copy it, edit, copy, click off of it, edit, paste. And I'm going to take this guy. I'm going to change the number 6,000. I'm going to make this one USC. All right. And again, I'm going to copy it and paste it. And this one, LBC. So change that to the 500. Now what I just did was I set it this way so I didn't have to continually make my text boxes. All right, so I just simply take that, move him over there to the blue, move this guy right here, and take this one. There you go. And kind of center everything so it looks neat. All right. And of course, what I would do is group everything together, and then I have a Venn diagram that I can copy and paste and put into a PowerPoint presentation if I want it. All right. Okay, let's go back to the presentation itself. All right, let's talk about flowcharts. Flowcharts are great tools. If you look at this right here, I have energy acquiring pathways. I have sunlight energy drives reaction, photosynthesis leads to aerobic respiration, and oxygen being released. I can leave it like this. People will read it and understand it, and it'd be no big deal. However, this looks a lot better. Okay, and if you can identify the tools I use to create this flowchart, these are simply the auto shapes that you guys were worked with before, right? An auto shape in the format of a sun. This is a text box. This is another text box. Oxygen being released right there. So if at all possible, use a flowchart or some sort of image to get it across to the audience, because this looks better than that, obviously. Flowcharts obviously allow us to organize information, concept maps or related to that, and you also have a process flow, and this is very easy for people to remember things if they're looking at an image. All right, let's talk about smart art graphics. These are way cool because you can actually employ images and utilize the predefined graphics that are inside of the Microsoft Office products. So these predefined graphics, they will allow you to display relationships, cycles, processes, and lists. For example, this guy right here that you're looking at, well, this is a process, K through 12, junior college, and four-year university. Smart art graphics are dynamic. They're not static. In other words, you can change them very, very easily. And they're also available in Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Here's our text again. Okay, remember how we had it this way right here? Okay, that was the auto shape. Now let's take a look at this same thing with a smart art graphic. All right, this is a smart art graphic that we've used. And again, if you take the time to go through the step-by-step instructions I have available for you, it'll be a very good tool for you to use, especially when you're doing your PowerPoint presentation. All right, thanks a lot. Let me know if you have any questions.